All right, AP Gov, we're going to quickly go over the handouts that y'all received. It's 112 to I think about 117. All right. So we got the concepts, okay? Why did the Articles of the Confederation fail? If you did not know, the Articles of Confederation is our first attempt at making our Constitution after we become a new nation. All right. And then you have the other key concepts. I would know maybe a couple ideas. These are good questions to help you study and prepare for the AP exam. All right. Here we got 4 Enlightenment philosophers. All right. You will have to know these 4. I promise you. You will need to know them. Okay. First, we got a guy named Thomas Hobbes. All right. I've highlighted the information you should highlight in your notebook and on your paper. Thomas Hobbes, okay, he argued the best way to protect life was to give total power to an absolute monarch because man cannot be trusted himself. So when you think about monarch, you should think about a king or queen. So write down somewhere, no Thomas Hobbes, all right, and write down somewhere absolute monarch. They go together, okay. John Locke, I've seen multiple questions on the AP final about a person called John Locke. You need to remember, you see John Locke, you automatically in your mind think life, liberty, and ownership of property. Okay? He believes that these natural rights were granted by God. All these were philosophers that when we created our Constitution, we referred to these 4. They all had different ideas. All right? But you will need to know these people's names. Okay? John Locke, remember, life, liberty, ownership of property. If you ever see that, you can throw that in. Okay? Charles de Montesquieu. All right, I know it's a hard name to spell. All right, but if you ever see this name, he talks about separation of powers into the 3 branches. Think about it. Today, we have our 3 branches. You have, remember, we talked about legislative, executive, judicial. Charles de Montesquieu is who we got the idea from. So, if you ever see a question about separation of powers and the different branches of government, we got the idea from Charles de Montesquieu. Think about it, remember it, know it. Here we go. Okay, and then the last one, Jean-Jacques, I argued the only good government was one freely formed with the consent of people. All right, believed into a social contract among the people. All right, so know that just Jean-Jacques, all right, think about social contract, all right, among the people. All right, the 2 main ones I want you to know all of them, but if you got to know 2, you need to know John Locke, Charles de Montesquieu. I've seen multiple questions on exams with these 2 people. Okay, so I'm going to go through that. That's on page 112. Okay, the Articles of Confederation. All right, highlight these 3 boxes because these are 3 big ones. Okay, it's going to set up the precedent. You should already know that word of what we're going to call federalism. And what federalism is, whereby the states and central government share governing responsibilities. So federalism, okay, we know we got the state government, we got the federal government, and then we have what they do together. You got federalism. Okay? Northwest Ordinance. Make sure you know what this is. I would have this highlighted somewhere. Okay? Know it. This is how new states enter the Union. So you know you got your 13 original colonies. Well, when we come up with these new states, when they want to join, they have to go by the Northwest Ordinance. Know it. Okay? Shays Rebellion. It's in your notes, but you definitely need to know what Shays Rebellion is. Okay? So, you're going to, under the Articles of Confederation, remember, this is America's first attempt at making a constitution. You know how we call our constitution the Constitution? Well, it used to be called the Articles of Confederation. And it's not going to go well for the Articles of Confederation, okay, for many reasons. Number one, it's going to be way too weak. And all these highlighted things right here, I'm not going over them, but you should go through them and know them. These are all problems, or a lot of problems, with the Articles of Confederation, why we got out of it. So there those are. You should have those highlighted in your notes. You go through them. And at the top, there those are. Okay? So the Articles of Confederation does not work for those various reasons. All right? So then they're going to meet at the Constitutional Convention. It's also known as the Philadelphia Convention. Okay? They're going to meet in Philadelphia for the Constitutional Convention. Here they're going to try to re-advise the Constitution. Okay? So you got all these members, people coming. All right? They're going to try to figure out how we can make a Constitution that would work for a country. All right? They all agree that a new, stronger central government was necessary, but you got to have the state's involvement. Okay, Rhode Island, among the original 13 colonies, Rhode Island was the only state that did not send delegates to the Constitutional Convention. He didn't know it. Okay, so when they met, they're going to come up with two ideas. All right, I know it's blurred out right here. This says the Virginia plan at the top, and this says the New Jersey plan. Okay, back then, Virginia was a large state. If you look at what's highlighted, I will promise you these three questions will be on your quiz or test. What the Virginia plan is, what the New Jersey plan is, and then the Great Compromise. Okay, so we're going to zoom in. So originally you got the Virginia plan. Well, this is going to favor large states. All right, you got some large states, you got small states. Obviously, Virginia is going to be one of the big ones. New Jersey, think about New Jersey, it's a small state. Okay, the Virginia plan, large states would have equal representation. All right, just like our Senate now is equal representation. Okay, the New Jersey plan, small states worried the government dominated by large states would be too strong. So each state would be represented equally. Sorry. The New Jersey plan is the Senate. Okay. The Virginia plan is the House of Representatives. Okay. Know that. We get our Senate rules, all right, from the New Jersey plan, and we get our House of Representative rules by the Virginia plan. So the big states, when they're meeting, came up with the Virginia plan. The small states wanted the New Jersey plan. So we come up with a compromise known as the Connecticut plan. But more importantly, you're going to hear it referred to as the Great Compromise. So as it says, the Great Compromise created a solution. We got a bicameral, which is a two-party House legislature, which we have today. So we have our legislative branch from the Great Compromise. All right. Small states would have equal representation. Large states would have based on population, which is what our Senate and House of Representatives is today. Okay. Next, we got Federalist number 10. You will see questions on the two Federalist papers. So we got number 10, and later we'll go over the other one. I think it's 51. Okay. I'll go back over that later. You need to know what executive order is. When the Supreme Court decided the case Marbury versus Madison, we've already went over this. Marbury versus Madison sets a precedent for judicial review. That's where they judge the constitutionality of a law. You should know this. All right. And that's page 117. All right. My suggestion for you is to go through these notes. All right. And go through this video and highlight what I've highlighted. All right, I would read over these handouts because I will pull some questions. For example, something that I did not go over, which I will be going over. What's that? Oh, right here. The 3/5 compromise. I'm not going over it, but you have to know that. Okay, I'm not going to give you every single answer. Okay, you need to read through this. All right, like here, it talks about the 2/3 overriding, 3/5 compromise. You need to know it. All right.